What the fuck did you do to your hair? Yeah, I know. It was bugging me. It had to go. But as you can see, my beard was not bugging me. So it's not going anywhere. Not free and shit. Yeah. Now that I've sorted all that out, I just want to talk about, over the past few weeks, I've gotten, shoved into the optimal health realm as I went to, research glyphosate, and then I got sucked into organic food, and it's, but at the same time, I want you to know that I haven't forgotten where I came from, and, as a truck driver, and I haven't failed to realize that organic might not be possible for the, at least half of you motherfuckers watching this might not even have the option. Now, granted, Walmart has supposedly, upped their organic game. I've never been a big fan of shopping at Walmart, mainly because I was a truck driver, and that was exclusively if I didn't want to eat at the truck stop, I had to go to Walmart, and Walmart foods were not the best for me back then. So, it's realizing that not everybody has the same food environment that we need to consider. Because I get a lot of things. Oh, you should grow your own shit, or, you should go to the farmer's market, or you should do this, and you should do that. There's places in the world, and in the United States in particular, where you can't do any of that shit. I know from my time on the road and traveling that is possibly, as a truck driver where you have this 80,000 pound vehicle that you just can't park wherever the fuck you want, that there is very difficult. Even Walmarts are taking a shit on you parking there now, because of some bad actors that have fucked up Walmart parking lots. At the same time, you have to realize that, that's not the only instance of it. There are poor communities that don't have a real grocery store. They have a convenience store surrounded by McDonald's and Taco Bell. That it's really difficult to eat healthy in even a convenience store or a truck stop. For us truckers, that's where we have to eat most of the time. And honestly, we only get a 10-hour break, so we either stop at a truck stop or we stop at a rest stop. Now, I already know I'm going to get the comments, I keep a cooler with all kinds of groceries and shit. I go to Walmart once a week, blah, 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 blah. This can be done. Well, that's great if you have time, but there's times in trucking that I remember that I didn't even have time to do that. I had to eat whatever was around me, and it had to be done in an hour usually. Maybe if I was lucky, I got to stop at a decent truck stop that was near a decent restaurant. But as you know, eating out is not, you can't be optimally healthy if you eat out a lot. It's just a fact. You're not going to get organic foods. You're going to have to be a fucking detective when it comes to your food on whether or not they added sugar, whether or not they fried it with vegetable oil. And, you know, these are, if you're trying to really just take yourself back to a level of health prior to our industrial agriculture, you're going to be sadly unable to in these environments. And I'm aware of that. You shouldn't give up if that's you, because you can still get a lot of the health benefits just by going as far as you can. Eat organic whenever you can, whenever you have a choice. That's kind of the rule I'm going to be living by. I'm not going to be a solid, everything must be organic or it can fuck off. But if I have the option to eat organically, to reduce my glyphosate exposure, it's my only reason, really. You know, as long as I feel good eating that way. If I notice no difference or no health differences, then yeah, I'll probably be a little more lenient. But given the research I've been doing and how fucked up we are, I'm trying to eat organic. I just switched coffees to an organic coffee. It's called like Three Sisters or something like that, which tasted pretty good, black, and also excellent with my heavy cream. So I'll be switching to that. It cost me $2 more, you know, and it comes in a smaller bag. Before that, I was drinking Starbucks. Don't judge me, but I like the taste of it black. And I have to like the taste of a coffee black because I do water fasts that involve just drinking black coffee occasionally, and I would want to be able to drink that coffee. I'm going to try to not get coffee while I'm out as much. You know, there's going to be social times where I'll kind of want to and have to. But I also keep in mind that the water supply is, you know, fucked too. I pour bottled water, hopefully from not as glyphosate infested as our tap water in, you know, New York seems to be, given that we're pretty heavy on the glyphosate map here. But, you know, so I realize that this isn't something that is practical for everyone to do, and that's to go organic. But I would say do the best you can. Try and fast your way through, as a truck driver especially, try and fast your way through these harder situations, through these food deserts that you're going to find yourself in. And, you know, try, if you can only, you know, get to the supermarket once every week or two, try and go somewhere that's, you know, drive a little extra, or take an Uber a little extra, or however it is you get to the store and back. Nowadays you can even get groceries delivered to your door. So if you have that option and you live in a food desert, you should take the extra time to go and get your foods. If you have access to a farmer's market during the season, you should absolutely go there. Just do everything you can. It's kind of like being a modern hunter-gatherer in finding food. When you try to reduce your exposure to this shit, you are essentially reducing your options for food, because most of the food in the supermarket is corrupt. Most of the food that you go out to eat is fucked. And if you're looking to be more healthy, or you're still trying to fix something, or you want to fix something as quickly and easily as possible, then you need to do these things. And that's to avoid the places where you're going to step on that landmine and get the fucking food that will set you back or slow you down or make you feel like shit or cause autoimmune problems, or, you know, there's a host of problems. And if you're experiencing any kind of symptoms, I myself am not experiencing symptoms. The only symptom I have left that I'm addressing is mood. I went from deep depressions to great swells of you know, almost, you know, manic levels in mood. And when I switched to keto, that dropped but didn't go away. I still get down and I still get a little up, but it's a much smoother, smaller transition. I want that line to be as steady as possible, and so I'm testing out a few things, including reducing my vegetable intake in the process to just kind of see what happens when you do that. What does it do for me? Does it mean it's permanent? No. Does it mean that I might not occasionally eat plant-based stuff? That's a whole other video we'll get into. And plus, stick around. I'm going to give you an update on my current endeavors in terms of health and weight maintenance. So this video was inspired by Castle. It's the guy that named me. His name's Castle. It's a awesome name, by the way. Hey, Scott. I'll keep this short and to the point. I am a truck driver. My weight exploded in my over-the-road days. Now I'm in line haul, home daily with weekends off. It took a switch going off in my head to do something about my weight, specifically when I had a DOT physical approaching and fearing a sleep study, as in he had sleep apnea, which I believe I might have had too. But I never addressed it, and it went away. And it went away pretty quickly as the weight went away. So there was that. I was 6 foot, 342 pounds, size 48 pants, and had to drive with my belt undone or it would cut my gut after hours of driving daily. My blood pressure and cholesterol were off the fucking charts. I could fuck as well as I could tie my shoelaces. Sorry. I could fuck as well as I could tie my shoelaces. Not very fucking good. And I needed a deep breather afterwards if I made it that far. I don't know where you were going with that, but yeah. Here it is, a year and 2 months into keto fasting. Thanks to people like you, Dr. Berg, Dr. Fung, and a couple others, I'm happy to say I'm now at 197 pounds. That's down from 342. That is a pretty big weight loss. That it's inspirational. And, you probably, see, you're 6 foot, you came probably about twice the distance I did in my weight loss journey. So hats off to you. You did a good job and shit. 197 at 6 foot is respectable. I took it down a step further. I am now in the upper 180s. Most of the time. We'll get into that at the end of the video. But that's kind of, you could slow down, relax, take your time, enjoy, your new weight, and go from there. My blood pressure averages around 117/75. I've worked out maybe a total of 3 times last year, and my body looks kind of ripped for a dad of 4 at 35 years of age. My biggest question is 2-part. I was 6 foot at my heaviest, and I went into my DOT physical recently, got my first 2-year certificate. Now, for those of you who don't know, every couple years you have to go in for a DOT physical, and based on what they find, they can give you a shorter duration. You have to go check back with them to make sure usually if you have to make sure you address whatever concerns they have, because there are some physical requirements for driving around an 80,000-pound vehicle. I wish that extended into some mental requirements, because I would say that there have been some drivers out there who are dangerous, who probably passed their DOT physical, but that's a whole other debate I don't want to get into. And I don't think that Castle falls into that category. And I had shrunk to 5'10". What the fuck is that about? I have never heard of that. Did you have a lot of padding on your feet? A couple inches of padding? That could, I guess, explain it. I've never heard of a height reduction. My height has been the same, recently checked. I'm still 6 foot tall, even all with the weight loss. I've never heard of that, so I don't know. I have no response to that question. Your logical conclusion that it could be some fat padding that was holding you up a little higher in the air, but I don't want to sit here and give you an answer to that. I've never heard of that, and I get a lot of feedback from people, and I've never heard of somebody losing height. Secondly, I would never have gotten here without real people who weren't selling bullshit. And there's a lot of people selling bullshit on the internet nowadays. I added that part. That wasn't in the letter. I always knew that if someone had something to sell, you were being lied to, deceived, or in my opinion, you were having your intelligence insulted by allowing anyone to consider your mental faculties not at a level where you would even understand the bullshit smokescreen. Thus, you'd be a target demographic statistic and shit. I'm on fire today. I'm really just nailing this. Fuck. He has a definite, he's kind of echoing what I've been saying. And what I'll reiterate here is never take all your information from one person, not even myself. You need to find the commonalities that are going on. And chances are that if someone you're watching is saying like something outside of the commonality, there might be some kind of self-interest or just a lack of information involved. And they're not going to give you the information, especially if they're selling something. They're not going to give you the information that make whatever they're selling questionable. And everything that is sold is questionable in some way. It's just a matter of if you can take the good and the bad. Everything has a good and a bad to it. Especially when it comes to weight loss, supplements, and all of that shit. So, just keep in mind, what are they selling? If they're just selling their book, they're probably a little bit more reliable than if they're selling a supplement. If they're promoting, workouts and that kind of thing, they're essentially selling you workouts, so they're not going to say anything bad about exercise. You see what I'm saying here? That's why I make fun of the take your shirt off every video motherfuckers, is because, basically you're promoting yourself as a personal trainer at that point, and you're going to make money off of, showing people how to work out, which is an entirely different subject than weight loss, and why I don't do that. So you'll never see a video of me in the gym because I don't go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. I lost all this weight, made all this health progress down to the normal BMI-ish range, the normal belly measurement range without setting foot in a gym. And that's, a lot of people don't have time for that shit. You think this guy with the family, a family of 6, and as a truck driver, which means he's working 60 to 70 hours a week, even as a local or as a home every weekend guy. Do you think he's got time to go to the fucking gym every day? His physical activities, walking to the truck stop and occasionally unloading a trailer. Or maybe he's one of them lucky truck drivers that gets to unload every fucking trailer. I hated that, by the way. Didn't let him do that. Yeah, you gotta just keep in mind that there are people out there that will assume that you don't know shit and that they can persuade you to, do something or buy something from them just by presenting a very convincing presentation. And there's a lot of that. I see a lot of that on YouTube too. You just got to be careful. It's straight up all there is to that. And take your information from more than one source. And of course, self-experimentation. It goes without saying. If you try something and it works, it's probably working. If you try something and it doesn't work, it was probably bullshit. And just move on and try something else. Anyway, as much as I appreciate contributions from Berg, Fung, and the likes, you're the only one I feel like listening to when I don't want filtered bullshit. That goes to without saying in terms of the people that bitch that I swear and that I don't have a filter, which I don't. I'm filterly challenged and shit. If you watch my live stream, you'll see I don't, I just flow. And I don't turn on my filter. And because my filter's not on, I say fuck. I might say something that's gross or something, that may offend some sensitive motherfucker. But in order for me to get on here and talk for as long as I do on the camera, on the mic, I have to be able to not worry about what I'm fucking saying. I worry about it afterwards a little bit. When I edit, I'll look through and see how fucked up I am and take out the parts that are most fucked up. Usually technical errors or, gaps in speech are mainly things that I do, or some comedic cuts here and there. But for the most part, my filter is off. And you've seen in my live streams, how I flow without editing. You've seen in my uncut videos much of that as well. That's my niche that I've carved out here with this channel, that I want to motivate people to do this that would fall asleep during a Berg presentation, or during a Fung. Well, Fung's a little more entertaining, in my opinion. He does, get a little bit personality-ish. Same thing with Dr. Lustig. I like watching him. He gets triggered and, just goes nuts. He's still a little dry, but, there's a lot of talking heads on this subject. I am not the only one. It's just a question of which one of those talking heads gets the message across to you the best. There are people that don't listen to me because I swear, because I'm, unfiltered, because I'm not really an expert. I'm just a fucking asshole. And, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I wasn't coming to the internet looking to take it over and be the next big YouTuber with millions of subscribers. Let's face it, this topic isn't going to bring millions of subscribers in. I wish, because that would mean I'd be making a huge dent in things and at least getting the information out there. But at the same time, I'm a realistic motherfucker, and, that's why I'm happy with every new 1,000 subscribers I get. I'm just like, okay, yes, another step, another landmark, that I've accomplished. I'm happy that I can survive while doing this. I wouldn't call it thriving. I would call it surviving at this point still. And that's how I try and set myself apart from the other YouTubers who talk about this stuff. I watch them. I watch to see the subject they're talking about. I look at the references that they give or the studies that they've read. I realize that when they're presenting on these things, that they're presenting their interpretation of the data or studies or some clinical data or maybe some clients they've treated or, so on and so forth. So I weigh all of that, and then I try things out on myself and see how they work. And that's the journey. That's how we get from, 342 pounds down to 197 pounds like you did. So, that is a real accomplishment. And I got good news for you. If you keep doing this way of life, that weight's gone forever. You don't have to worry about it coming back, even as a truck driver. It's a pain in the ass as a truck driver, don't get me wrong, because you're going to have to fast a lot, to do this while you're on the road. But the good news is it looks like you do get home enough that you can partake into some, grocery shopping and not eating out. My advice for truck drivers is whenever you're home, do not eat out. You're eating out while you're on the road a lot. When you're home, cook, spend time with family and friends, offer to buy the food, and if they'll cook and you can have a dinner together, that kind of stuff, do all of that. Whatever it takes to keep your ass out of restaurants when you're not on the road. Because when you're on the road, you're eating all of that shit. You're getting all of this shit snuck into you. You're eating in convenience stores. You're eating fucking Pilot hot dogs and McDonald's burgers without the bun and, egg McMuffins with no muffin and shit, and all of that is the lowest, not the highest quality meats and fats. It's all processed. Very few, I don't think any organic is going on out there. Occasionally you can spot some healthy shit out there on the road. There's been farmers markets that have come to rest areas and stuff like that. Amish people like to occasionally set up shop here and there. And you can pick up some nice fresh things. And if you have a cooler in your truck, that helps. So there's just little tips and things, but to do that as a truck driver you're right, it is probably one of the most difficult food environments to do that. And that's why if you look around at the truck driving population, they're probably a good snapshot of how unhealthy that it is to live that way. There are truck drivers who don't fit that mold, and the chances are they've taken a lot of steps. But when I was out there and I looked around in the truck stop, it was filled with people with metabolic disease that were overweight or obese, that were just not doing well health-wise. The industry is trucking will take your health. It will. Even if you don't gain weight and become an obese truck driver, you're guaranteed to have one of these diseases we've been discussing on this channel. Diabetes, heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's. There's all kinds of diseases that are caused by that food environment. And, just because you don't get the symptom of obesity doesn't mean you're out of the woods. You still could be one of the 40% of normal BMI people that have metabolic illnesses, including heart disease. So, things to keep in mind. You're not out of the woods if you're not an obese truck driver, all right? That being said, be thankful if you are an obese truck driver, because at least you know. At least you know for sure that you're fucked. A normal BMI motherfucker's going to think, I'm on top, look at me, I'm great. Even though they're on pills and all kinds of problems, but still, I'm good. I'm not obese. And that's a problem, with the way we view health nowadays. And it's right along, if you're obese, you're unhealthy. If you're not obese, you're healthy. Not a true statement. Collectively, we are sick. We are having these skyrocketing fucking healthcare costs. And we need to do something about it. And we're not going to do something if the only thing we're doing is looking at whether or not we're obese. There's other things to look at. Let's be real fucking honest here. Truck drivers have the odds stack against them if you look at the food options and work conditions affecting sleep. If a fucking truck driver can have a six-pack, which I don't, by the way. I hope you're not saying I do. I don't. And I don't want one. I don't really want one. I just want a little bit of definition in the area, maybe a little bit less of a roll hanging at the bottom, but I'd realize some of that's loose skin and some of that's just my body holding on to shit. And virtually no exercise, any more demanding than raising sticky landing gear, which was a bitch. I hated that. Although there was a time when I was a yard jockey and I had to move 50 trailers a night the old-fashioned way without a jockey truck, and I had to fucking crank every one of them motherfuckers. And look at that, I was still fat during that period. How did that happen? There is no excuse why this process of fasting with keto-based foods and fucking up on holiday weekends with sugar is a non-valid one. Well, I don't agree with that anymore. I used to, but I no longer am all about the sugar. I've gotten that out of my life, and I'm keeping it out. As a matter of fact, I believe it proves the theory. Thanks, man. I have a family of 6 and cannot contribute to your Patreon, but I share your videos with family and friends as much as I can to help support you. Keep it up, dude. And I don't expect everyone who watches me to contribute. I like it when people do help, and it enables me to spend more time doing things. That being said, no one should ever feel pressure to contribute. All right. Do it if you want to. If I brought value to your life and you want to help me grow the channel and you want to help me put out more videos and do more research and read lots of emails and comments, which I have a lot of, and I'm not going to be able to get to them. I'm just one person, I'm going to do the best I can. But this stood out to me mainly because I wanted to address food environments. So thank you, Castle, for your letter. It should be inspiring. If you're a truck driver, you should stop and take a real inventory of your health. How many pills are you on? How hard are you sweating that DOT physical every time you fucking go in there? And that's not the pickiest physical in the world. There's much more in-depth ways of checking your status, and you should get that done and get out ahead of it. Don't wait till you go into the fucking DOT physical to figure out if you're unhealthy. You need to get on the ball and fix your health. And it can be done. I'm living proof. Castle is living proof. I have thousands of comments that are proof to me, the fact that I have thousands of them, that tells me that this works. I get feedback on a regular basis. I've, followed a lot of other keto and fasting advocates who have similar progress through their base. If you look in their comments, you'll see what works and doesn't work. In fact, you can probably evaluate some YouTubers based on the comments. If you're not sure about someone, just start reading through the comments, and they're going to get called out by some people, and they're going to have some people be like, yeah, that works for me. Now, there's always the personality too. There's people that are drawn to certain personalities and will defend whatever that person says no matter what. You can kind of see through that in the comments. But if someone's in the comments saying, I did this and I lost this much and my doctor said this and this was my numbers, chances are that person actually did all of that shit. Now, there's the element of you never know. But if you look at the commonalities in what they're saying, in what the people are saying happened as their results, you see a common thread to the results they are getting. And you can test these, modalities on yourself. You can do these things that they did on yourself and see if your results mirror theirs. And that's how you figure out what can work for you. So if you're ever struggling with figuring out if somebody you're watching is full of shit, read the comments. You're going to see arguments for them. You're going to see detractors from them. Then evaluate those on the merits. There's a lot of unconstructive criticism, like, you're a fucking idiot, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're a truck driver, shut the fuck up, stop swearing, trim your beard. Those kind of comments you just gotta be like, okay, that person has nothing to offer me. Every once in a while you'll get somebody who disagrees but is intelligent, offers constructive criticism, maybe doesn't completely disagree, but just disagrees on one minor detail. If you start seeing some of that, that's fine, and you should evaluate those. I do. When someone comes in and says, well, I think you might be wrong on this, and I'll look into that, and I'll be like, either I'll still disagree with them, or I'll change my opinion. And that's what recently happened with me and the whole organic thing. Somebody said, hey, look, asshole, see all this glyphosate shit? Hello? Your entire fucking lifespans, but this has been going on. So I took a look at it. And it convinced me the data and science and lectures that I came across had a commonality to them that convinced me that this wasn't bullshit. When you have several doctors and scientists saying the same fucking thing in a very science-based way, on a molecular level. They're not up there preaching. They're not doing like forks over knives, or any of those kind of documentary type speeches. These are like, this molecule does this and gets in here and does this and causes this and it's blah, blah, blah. And it's dry and boring, has a couple thousand views. And I'm just like, okay, I know why it doesn't have the views, because it's boring. But at the same time, someone like me gets riveted at the information. And then I come and I kind of point you there. I'm like, this is what I watch. This is the person I'm looking into this week. I'm still looking into Natasha Campbell, I believe her name is. Actually, yeah. Dr. Natasha Campbell. I just got this in the mail today. Gut and Psychology Syndrome. That's the GAPS diet you'll hear her mention in her speeches. And I just want to see what she's all about. The diet she recommends, the results she may have had, I don't know. And then I will do a full review on her. But that's who I'm kind of been intrigued with. I've watched a lot of her stuff over the weekend and so on and so forth. So there's that. So you just got to, do the best you can in those food environments. And if in doubt, fast your way to the good food environments. That has got me through a lot of situations. Difficult on your social life. People are going to think you're that asshole that shouldn't get invited to anything because you don't eat. I mean, and I've had that. I've had friends that won't invite me because they want to go eat. and they want me to eat with them, but I am fasting. And then, they get tired of that. I understand. I understand completely from their perspective. And at the same time, that doesn't mean I should have to compromise and compromise my health and my goals just so that I can be more sociable. It's really not in my radar to do that at this point. I've come so far. I don't want to fall back. I don't want to make reverse progress. And I do everything in my power to keep what I've gained, so to speak, or lost. To keep my losses over the years. So it's important to do that. To maintain and to not, take your hands off the wheel once you get where you're going. Keep things in line. Keep your weight in line. Keep your health in line. It's not hard. After this 3-year journey and declaring myself arrived at my goal, that doesn't mean it's over. I still have to maintain. I still have to keep what I got. If I slack, or if I eat something bad, or if I make mistakes here and there, or if I overeat here and there, which I tried for the past couple of weeks, we're going to go over that in a minute, that's on me. That's my responsibility to keep my results. To not jump into old habits, to not get back into old addictions. Despite some occasional temptations, I still am tempted by alcohol occasionally. This last week was a little rough, but we're gonna go over that too. So this is a long ass video, in case you haven't figured that fucking shit out. But there's a reason for it. And I waited till now to kind of discuss this with you guys for my more dedicated viewers that actually watch all my shit and watch it all the way through. What you'll have time to do this week. I need some time this week. I need a week off. I need to decompress. I need to step back a minute. I'm still going to do research and read. I want to actually take the time to read this fucking thing. I also have the other book I'm finishing up, the audio book, so I want to do that. I think I got 8 hours left of that. So, I need to take a step back also, though, and spend time not working, and which I had been struggling with in the past. Even this past weekend, I spent probably 8 to 10 hours each day researching, watching lectures, responding to messages here and there. And I need to kind of take it down a notch for a week and reset a little to regain my energy. Also, some things have happened in my personal life that have left me a little bit miserable. And so I'm kind of dealing with that as well, and it's hard to get on here. This video probably sucked because I'm not in the best mindset. I'm not depressed per se, but I'm a little irritable, a little bit, the wind is out of my sail. I'm kind of just floating right now, and I want to put some wind back in my sail. So, a lot of people get time off, a lot of people get vacations. When you're an entrepreneur, you realize you're not making money if you're not working. However, it is important to take some time to yourself to do things that aren't work, to do things that allow you to decompress, that allow you to maybe let out, because there's a lot of pent-up frustrations going on in my life right now. A lot of things that are just kind of, what are you doing all of this for sometimes? You guys, has nothing to do with this channel. Let me just make that loud and clear. I love doing this work. I love doing this channel, but I would be doing you a disservice if I just continued to focus on it all the time and then I ignored the rest of my life, which is not optimal right now. It's not a financial problem. It's more of a social issue, a relationship issue as well. And there's a lot going on right now that kind of, I don't know. I'm not feeling my best. and I want to be able to provide you guys the usual level of content that I do. So, as I promised, even though I strive to put out 5 videos a week and a live, or 4 in a live stream, it was what I was leaning towards, and still am. You got to realize that every once in a while I'm going to need breaks. Otherwise, I'm going to be useless to you. I might even already be there. I don't know. It was hard to do this video today, and as you noticed, there was no video yesterday. I have a lot going on. I'm going to take off till next Tuesday. So there's that. Please don't be mad at me. I just got to do some me time. I need to decompress. I need to step back. I need to allow myself to clear up a bit. I've been cooped up also with the weather, which also isn't the best for the mood. I like to get out, but I don't like the cold, and it's been below, 27 degrees, 26 degrees, 30 degrees here, and it's supposed to be spring already. We're 10 degrees below our average. If it was 40, I'd get out, do some shit. But, I just get so miserable in the cold, which would just provide more misery. So I've been kind of cooped up, and I need to, just decompress. I need to relax. And, you might have seen a little bit more wound upness in my latest videos because I haven't been taking time to relax and shit. And I need to occasionally take breaks to do that. So that's what this week is going to be. I'm taking a week off. Now I say that, and I know that doesn't mean I'm going to, not answer comments and not do anything like that. I'm just going to not produce content till next Tuesday. That's the plan. And hopefully I'll come back fresh and ready to rumble, and we will continue our pressing on as per normal. As in, I will pump out as many videos as I can, trying to get one a day done. So there's that. That being said, I could change my mind. I could feel better in a couple days and be like, all right, I'm back, motherfuckers. So there's always that chance. So please just, bear with me on this one. Also keep in mind that last week I put out a video every day, and the average length of that video was 1 hour each, not to mention the 2-hour live stream. So if you haven't caught up, it's a great time to do that. I tend to make long videos. I know I get bitched at every now and then. And, I've gotten rid of the podcasts for the moment because you guys have really been stepping up when I do those long videos, So, each one of those is getting at least 1,000 views, which is about how I judge it. If it doesn't hit 1,000 views within a certain time period, I know that video sucked. But you guys have been consistently watching. The watch time's way up. The subscriptions are up. So I know the long videos aren't for everyone. A lot of people don't want to commit that much time. One of the things you can do in the long video situation is just watch it in pieces. It tends to be broke up. Stop it, after the commercial, Okay, I tend to put commercials in the long videos at about 15 to 20 minute increments. Just stop there and come back later. Well, if you can. That's up to you. So that's kind of what I need to do. I need to take the break. Use it as a time to catch up on maybe a video that you didn't have time to watch because it was too long or something. There's plenty of content on my channel. Go back and see how stupid I used to be 3 years ago, too. There's that. You can go back a couple years and see how far I've come. If maybe you're new here and you're just watching my newer shit, I have a whole library of old fucking videos where I first started out on this journey, and that's part of the, some of the long-time subscribers and people that watch a lot of my videos. They know where I've come from. They've seen the progression of my ideology over time. They've seen the mistakes I've made. They've seen my, knowledge evolve, the things I've learned through all of this process. So they know I'm doing these things. They know I've learned this shit. They know that I continue to evolve and to learn and to share the entire fucking journey, and along with giving my asshole opinions on shit and, the things I do. So there's plenty of that for the past 3 years of this journey. and enjoy that. I will be back next Tuesday. I will have a video posted on Tuesday. There will be a live stream next week. I won't shirk that, but I do need this time to decompress. So I hope you guys are okay with that. I feel bad taking time off, and I feel like I might be letting somebody down or something, and I don't like that feeling. But at the same time, I need the break. I need some time. So that's what I'm doing there. So since I'm taking this break, no need to contribute to the channel this week. Don't do any of that. Just kind of take a break too. Maybe step back and see if you want to come back after, all of this journey. See if you want more of this shit. Sometimes taking a step back allows you the opportunity to explore everything. I don't know. Might be a bad business move, but for mental health, I think, this is something I need to do. So that's pretty much that. And as you can see, I'm definitely not a fucking expert. I'm just an asshole, and I got problems like everybody else. I'm not perfect. I don't, profess to be the happiest motherfucker on the planet. I just know I've come a long way from where I used to be, and I've shared that journey. I'm not promising you abs. I'm not promising you a complete cure to depression or whatever illness you have. I'm just seeing the things I'm seeing that tend to be showing up in more than one place that say there are improvements to be had, and there are victories to be had against chronic disease, against obesity, against diabetes, against heart disease, against cancer, against Alzheimer's, against fucking autism, which is another big one that's probably going to do us in at the rate of growth that is happening. So it's all of this, these diseases that we're trying to combat on this channel, and we're trying to increase our health span and keep us out of the pharmaceutical industry. And we're trying to do all of this, and it's not an easy thing to do. So that will continue next week and shit. So this video probably sucked. I'm sorry. And I'll see you next Tuesday. And I had no intention of that little anachronism fucking being like that, just so you know. It just happened to be today's Tuesday, and I'm gonna go till next Tuesday, so let's see you next Tuesday. It's not the other thing that can mean and shit. Before I go, I just wanted to give you another update. Sorry. I just wanted to give you another update on my weight loss, or lack thereof. I weighed in at 191 over the weekend. So part of my weight maintenance is when I'm starting to creep up like that, it's time for a fast. So I'll be doing a fat fast followed by a water fast. The first 3 or 4 days will involve fat. And then I will throw in, what I'm thinking of doing is doing kind of alternating fasting, as in 1 day fat fast, 1 day water fast, 1 day fat fast, 1 day water fast, and I want to do that for a while, just to correct a little bit of weight gain that happened from my little experimentation of full keto eating with no restriction on just eating whenever I want or whenever I felt like eating. That's not necessarily when I'm hungry. So I put on an extra pound over the weekend. So that's kind of what I'm doing right this week while I'm taking this time to recover. I'll be fasting as well. So when I come back, I will be able to come back with some results from doing that protocol. Right now, I am on the fat fast portion of this, and I did fat fast yesterday, but now I'm going to transition into a water fast tomorrow, followed by a fat fast the next day, followed by a water fast. And I'm going to do that for a while. Maybe I'll make it all the way till next Tuesday. So see you next Tuesday. That's that. My belly measurement did hit 35 inches over the weekend. It dropped back down to 34.75 inches this morning. So there's that. So just a quick update on what I'm doing for fasting. I am still reducing my vegetable intake. So this has been mainly, and I've done it pretty effectively. The only plant-based foods that I've been eating for the past 4 days, or is it 4 days? It has been 100% chocolate and the coffee. And that's it. Everything else has been meat and cheese and fat. So that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. I did have a big meal out over the weekend too. So there is that variable which could have contributed to the temporary weight gain. But as we know, during a fat fast, you can lose a pound a day. So I'm not too worried about that. And it's more about the measurement anyway for me. I want that measurement back down at the 34.5. That's nice. That's where I was happiest. If it goes a little below, that's fine. It'll probably creep back up over time. But every once in a while, you got to do a fast. Not to mention, I want to clean up a little. I want to give my body some time to take care of shit. Especially knowing what I know now about glyphosate and all of that. I'm wondering how fasting plays a role in that. So there's all kinds of questions I'm still asking. So look forward to that next week. Please like and subscribe for more shit. And I'll make more shit. Don't forget to share this shit. Because there's somebody out there that needs help. Maybe not this video. This video kind of sucked. But there's other videos that are very useful in your journey. So have a nice motherfucking day. And shit.